Now, we have seen John Wick a few years after his retirement. We saw his focus, we saw his skill, we saw his drive. Now, picture that, but in his prime, without the assets of the Continental. Just a man here to repay a death in blood, equipped with nothing more but his skill, his mind, and his ruthlessness. This is John Wick. If you're new to my channel, please go check out my previous videos. Hit the subscribe button and the notification button because I drop a video every single day. Now, let us begin. Because John Wick is in El Paso, Texas, and he is a freelancer. This is a no-no because most people in this town are on the table, or at least under it. Jerome, being a close friend, decides to integrate John Wick into the life at the Continental. The Continental on the outside looked like any normal hotel, but on the inside, it was a castle, it was a fortress, a haven, sacred ground. On the inside, we see multiple professional assassins, drug lords, even bosses having lunch together. These guys were enemies outside. They looked for blood outside, but in this place, they were like brothers. This was the power of the Continental. John Wick and Sharon sat down to have dinner, but they were interrupted by someone. This was Maria. She was the boss of the boys John Wick put down, and she wanted to join them. John, of course, being a gentleman, accepted, and she looked at him dead in his eyes and said, "I've heard of you. I've heard about your skill. Multiple of my boys came back to me unable to speak. Most of them cannot even speak anymore. You were good." And he smiled, but she meant that as a threat because in this room, everyone here was under her. Jerome had to physically remind her, yeah, this is the Continental. There will be no business on Continental ground. John, out of respect for his friend, put his piece away, and they had a conversation. Jerome, however, was still concerned because if those boys were your boys, were you part of this operation that tried to rob me? Is Pecos working for you? Because as you know, attacking Continental staff is the same thing as business on Continental ground. She apologized for her rudeness and said no, he doesn't. She whipped up a bunch of coins and offered it as compensation, apologizing, which he accepted. But she also brought some coins out for John Wick as thanks for taking out the trash. But John is a man of integrity. He made it clear, I don't need payment. That was personal. She said, well, keep it nonetheless. He did not. So she said to him, what would you like as a gift then? And he said, all right, if you're offering me something, put word on the street that Pecos was just shot and he's still alive. She agreed, took back her coins, and let it be known, personal business is not good for business. Now, John was not expecting much from this interaction. He left the Continental because he still had a mission to complete. He didn't want to become a member just yet. As he walked on the street, he found an unoccupied building, and then he got a text from Buffalo, one of the three Bills, the brother of the man he just killed. She had stuck to her word. I guess promises are important in this business. We remembered exactly who Buffalo was. He was the leader of the three, the oldest and the most ruthless. Three of them put down 50 people in that night, and he was going to pay. John, talking as his brother, made him know that his other brother had hired John to kill him and told the other brother the same thing, causing two of them to get paranoid. Instantly, they realized, we need to find John Wick. Tell the boys, I want him dead tonight. And John could feel the heat rise. Eyes were on him in seconds. He wasn't bothered much though. He still had some jobs to do. Like a moth to the flame, he walked around the city. He let them track him down. He made sure they knew where he was going. And when he got to the entrance of the building he just left, he laid down some food for the cat and stepped inside. This was part of his plan. This was a kill box. He was drawing everyone, all of his enemies, into one spot. Even when they stepped in, they didn't realize another gang was chasing the same man. With both groups calling their bosses to confirm what to do, they said, stop, this John Wick is conniving. This was clearly some mind games he was playing. Don't do nothing till we get there, understood? They said agreed, but John was not going to let that happen. The tension in this room was explosive. So using a can, he just lit the match. As he dropped it, It triggered one of the guards to open fire. And just like that, they were in a frenzy. Gunshots were banging, everyone was dying. When the bosses pulled up, they were pissed off. What's going on? You fools, he played you. He played all of us. They must have been so pissed off at their own stupidity, they decided to just open fire. Screw the boys that were inside. They were trying to kill John, one way or another. But John was still John. And remember, this was prime John Wick. Pure skill, no reputation. He moved in the shadows like Batman. They tried to get him every single time. They just wasted bullets over bullets over bullets. When they were done, he came out of the shadow willingly. Hello. Kill him. As John locked eyes with these two brothers, he knew at that instance, yeah, they both had to die. So, using a socket wrench, he proceeds to leap into battle. And he annihilated everyone. He used everything in his possession to kill these people, using the car doors to crush skulls. The brothers watched this happen and they were shocked at one person's pure savagery. Jesus Christ. They started to run, and John wasn't even shocked. He knew these brothers, as much as they liked to kill, they were pussies. Nothing has changed. Sadly, I have, and I'm coming. Run. Hide. I will find you.